come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Council. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Hearing none, motion carries. To the consent agenda, you have a copy of the minutes from March 18th, our regular meeting, and also the 27th, which is our special meeting. Resolution number 24-32 is a resolution approving contract and bonds for the 2024 North 20th Street basketball and pickleball courts project. Also, resolution number 24-33, a resolution relating to the financing of proposed projects to be undertaken by the City of Clear Lake, Iowa, establishing compliance with reimbursement bond regulations under the Internal Revenue Code. You also have a copy of the bills and claims, of which we'll need approval. And then under licenses and permits, there's a cigarette permit for Come and Go, number 301 and number 302, which are renewals. And because we have two resolutions, we will do a roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion, please. Let me do that first. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mark, seconded by Creighton. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying, or no, let me do the roll call now. Mark?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Bennett? Yes. Beth Ann?
Yes.
And Dana?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0, and resolutions number 24-32 and 24-33 are duly adopted. I did forget that motion once before, I believe, so we're glad we caught that. All right, citizens' opportunity to address the council. Now is the time and place for anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on any issue or concern that is not on the agenda. Please approach the podium and state your name, first and last, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter it into the minutes. This is not a discussion time or a question and answer time, and you have 3 to 5 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business, of which we have none. So let's move on to item 6A on our agenda, fiscal year 24 amended and fiscal year 25 proposed municipal budget. Introduction by Scott Flory.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. City Council members, I don't want to belabor this after that last meeting we had, so I'll just kind of hit the high points, and if anybody has any questions, you feel free to stop me or ask. But you've all got a copy of the proposed fiscal year 24 amended budget in front of you, as well as the fiscal year 25 proposed budget. As you know, we just finished our House File 718 hearing here at 5:15. So that process is complete. The next step in the timeline process is that we'll approve tonight setting the date for the next public hearing on the budget. So this is a second public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 24 amended fiscal year 25 proposed budget. That hearing date will be April 15th. 5:30 p.m. here in the council chambers, and we will already have the notice queued up for publication on April 4th, and we will satisfy, like we did with the other hearing, all the other requirements for posting associated with that. So as we discussed previously, the proposed tax rate for fiscal year 25 is $9.85 per thousand of taxable valuation. As we discussed earlier, the residential rollback for fiscal year 25 is set at 46.34%, which is a reduction from the 54.65. As I alluded to earlier, that is the single largest reduction in the residential rollback in the history of the state. So a big reduction, and as we discussed during our budget preparation, it would take your property increasing at least 15% in value to offset that decrease in the rollback. So constitutional debt limit, I'll just touch on that one, for fiscal year 25 is $84,700,000, and effective June 30th of 2024 will have only used less than 5% of that total. So as I've mentioned repeatedly, the gold standard is to be at that 70 to 75%, not exceeding. We're not even at 5. So as I say all the time, we are not only likely the lowest indebted city in this state, maybe one of the lowest indebted in the country. So not much debt for an organization our size. In terms of the fiscal year 24 and 25 amended and proposed budgets, we have a total budget size for fiscal year 24 amended at just under $23.5 million, and right at about $26 million for fiscal year 25. So, and that's probably all I have within the difference of time and repeating myself from the earlier meeting, unless, Jacob, you want to add some more to that?
Yeah. Jacob, go ahead. Council, well, he's coming up. Any questions for Scott on a minute? Okay, Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah, so just to piggyback along Scott there, I'll be quick, but the total budget expenditures that Scott mentioned there for the FY25 budget are at 25.9 million. Of that, it's in your cover memo there, but 11.9 is operations, 13.1 is towards capital items, and then around 900,000 towards debt. So that larger budget figure reflects the big projects that we have going on, namely the Surf District project and the Destination Iowa grant we got for that. So that really has caused the budget to increase both the FY24 amended and the FY25 proposed budgets. And you can see those in your packet there on the yellow sheets. I won't go through them in detail, but it goes through and shows by function. And then you guys also have detailed budget books too. So any questions on any of that?
All right, any questions for Jacob? Anyone? All right, thank you very much, Jacob. Appreciate that. So we do need a motion to set the date for a public hearing for April 15th at 5:30 p.m. on fiscal year 24 amended and fiscal year 25 proposed municipal budget. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Creighton. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Hearing none, motion carries. On to item B. Presentation regarding the adoption of a new City of Clear Lake and North Iowa Joint Comprehensive Plan. And I would let everybody know, we do have Charlie Cowell with RDG on the phone. Let's start with Mike Ritter, our building official. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. At the last planning and zoning meeting, Charlie presented the comprehensive plan that we've been working on for the last year and a half plus as a complete rewrite for what the city has, which is done every 15 to 20 years to kind of give us general guidance for the city of, give us planning, what we can do to follow at that. We had to make some, time to make changes on it, so that's what we did. At the last meeting last Tuesday, was presented to P&Z, and they actually approved the presentation that was put before by RDG and Charlie, and we're putting it for you to have a recommendation for you to approve it also.
Excellent. And I know there was quite a number of people that participated in this process, and I do want to publicly thank them and you for being a part of that. Any questions for Mike?
I was just going to add to that, as you were just kind of alluding to, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, that we were in partnership with our colleagues at Saragordo County as well as the City of Mason City on this. So while it is a joint overall plan that involved all of these entities and extensive community outreach, and we won't bore everyone with all those details, but each individual entity does have its own specific plan here. So again, as you mentioned, thanks to members of this group that participated at, as well as our members of our planning commission and overall steering committee, members of the public at large. So and I'll just let Charlie take it from here, letting him know that the tip-off is in 10 minutes. So.
Charlie, go ahead. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mike and Scott. I don't know if I have much to add. Several of you have been involved in the process throughout, whether that's coming to meetings or being part of the committee as we work through this. I will just reiterate that both the county and Mason City, their planning and zoning commissions have recommended approval as well. Mason City their council will be doing the same thing you are tomorrow night, and then the County Board of Supervisors on April 15th. happy to answer any questions you have. For anyone that's specifically looked at any part of the plan and has questions, I've got an open hearing, can answer questions, but as Scott alluded to, I will keep it short.
All right, council, any questions for Charlie? Okay, hearing none, again, Charlie, we really want to thank you for joining us this evening and for all the hard work that you've done on this project, and so, thank you very much. Okay, council, I'll entertain a motion to approve and adopt the comprehensive plan for Clear Lake specifically. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Dana. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. On to item C, the annual report from Veterans Memorial Golf Club, reviewed by Board President Jason Floy. Welcome, Jason.
Again, Jason Floyd, lifelong resident of Clear Lake. Been on the golf board for now 3 years, first time president this year, so I can assess you that my golf game's better than my public speaking. So, but good to have you here in City Council. Just wanted to kind of, it's basically a copy and paste of what we've been doing the last 10 years, so touch on some things. Annual report, 2023 financial review, saw a total income of $505,963. That's the highest total income we've had since we had taken over, so it's kind of exciting that way. Where that comes from, season passes at about 140,000 of that. Clubhouse sales, food and beverage is about 157,000 of that. And then green fees and cart rentals, about 144,000 of that. We did see green fees increase from last year to this year, or from 2022 to 23 of about $17,000. So that means that the tourists or outsider are coming in and using the course, which is pretty exciting for us. So one thing we did do is a lot of projects this year. A lot of times we try to do, we've been doing landscaping projects every year. We try to tackle one a year. This year we did 2. So had an opportunity to do redo number 1 tee box the end of this year in 2023. And then the beginning of 2023, we worked on number 3 and number 9 tee box landscaping. So that's why you'll see maybe a small net loss for the year, which is about $5,000. And then we also have some, like you guys, our operational costs keep rising, so we've got to kind of dial down our expenses. A lot of expenses we've either reduced or eliminated as far as clubhouse stuff, a lot of COVID leftover stuff that we really don't need to do anymore. So shoring up those. 2003 improvements, like I said, our tee boxes, number 1 tee box, you'll see on the west side of that, we took out all the railroad ties and replaced it with block, pavers. A clock is being donated that will be, you'll see a lot of clocks like at a golf course in the number 1 tee box, signifying the golf course with VMGC on the top of that clock. So kind of neat to have that. And then, like I said, number 3, number 9, we're done. We also purchased a leaf blower, which maybe Mike can usually hear sometimes in the mornings. It helps with leaf maintenance in the fall. Blows it out, and then they get to mulch it up in the roughs when they go mow the roughs. So just a luxury purchase that really helps out in the fall. So grounds crew, obviously, we work with Jeremy a lot, replacing trees and tree removal, and we really appreciate that partnership. I know when our Jeremy calls, their Jeremy, it's either people or equipment or both, and they get the job done. So that's much appreciated. So. Just some small things we did. The deck off the clubhouse, got a new refresh, power wash, paint. We're doing the same thing with our shelter houses on number 4 and number 7. Those are getting power wash and paint. This last year, we actually shingled those too, just to refresh them. So a lot of reinvesting in the golf course this year. That's why you see probably a minimal net income. But one thing I do like to say is we still have no long-term debt, none at all. And still haven't even touched or capped into, we have a capital improvement fund that we usually add to. This year we didn't add to it, we just basically cash flowed these projects. So pretty exciting that way. One thing I would like to mention, we started a scholarship program for male and a female, Clear Lake High School. 2 requirements, you have to be on the golf teams, and you have to help out with our junior golf program. So last year, we really only had 1 eligible person. That was a female, Rebecca DeLong. She earned it, but this year we hope to have 2, and we'll continue to do that every year. So it's usually $1,000 a person, or $1,000 scholarship for each. So, so yeah, excited about that. One of the things I'd like to mention is membership-wise, 285 season pass holders, very similar to what we had last year. It kind of jumped over COVID, and we've kept that level, so pretty excited. Our season pass fees, we didn't touch this year. Usually we look at them every 2, so those are going to remain the same. As of March 1st, we always send out a renewal in December just to help with cash flow over the winter. As of right now, we've got 140 memberships already paid for and bought. We haven't even really put a tee in the ground yet. So
Wow, that's
kinda
excellent.
neat.
Yeah.
Yep, so, like I said, capital improvement fund, we didn't touch, still at $52,000. What we'd like to do in the future, we know we're gonna start attacking equipment needs, and we're probably gonna focus on those. We're gonna need a lot more capital improvement fund for those, so like to keep adding to that, especially this year, because in the next few years, our succession plan is definitely mowers and that kind of stuff, which is high expensive stuff, so. Operating budget, it's basically a copy and a paste of last year. After 10 or 12 years, you know, the golf business, you know, we've been fortunate to kind of manage through some weather. Last year was perfect, not a whole lot of rain. This year started out pretty unique because February's been nicer than April, so, or March, so we'll, you know, manage through that. Kind of know what to expect for revenue, know what to expect for expenses. Got a pretty good handle on it, so. Staff-wise, Jeremy Amison runs the outside, course superintendent. Just dedication, knowledge. We rely on him to make a lot of decisions for the outside of the golf course that he just has the expertise for. So does a really good job. I mean, basically out there all winter, you know. So, and then Mike Loyman will run the golf course clubhouse and director of golf. Just keeps the golf course clubhouse just an inviting place to go. Obviously, if we've got green fees that keep increasing, people still come back. So pretty inviting place. So conclusion, just really appreciate the partnership with the city. I know we use Jeremy a lot. Just a lot of different things that the city does for us. Mark, sitting on our board, gives us a little perspective on how the city would look at things. So making decisions for us, he helps us out that way too. So, but just really appreciate that and just want to sustain it. We know it's an asset for Clear Lake. We want to keep it that way and basically, hopefully, keep copy and paste and keep doing it year after year.
Right, Jason, I really agree. It's a tremendous asset and amenity for Clear Lake, and I appreciate you and your staff and how they take care of that. It's tremendous. So thank you very much for the report. Council, any questions for Jason? Okay, thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate it. On to item D on our agenda, the Surf District Destination Iowa Music Enrichment and Immersive Center Project, reviewed by Scott Flory. Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Council members, I'll just stay up here so we can go a little faster on this one again. You've got a gray sheet here in your packet. Resolution adopting plan, specification, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the Surf Ballroom Music Enrichment and Immersive Center project. The sheet on the backside of that is a resolution making an award of contract that we'll end up tabling here tonight. And then we just threw a copy of the advertisement for bids and notice of public hearing there in the packet, just as a reminder. So back at your meeting on March 4th, the council had set the date for the public hearing for tonight, 5:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. Also established the date for the bid letting originally at March 21st, and then by addendum, we later moved that back to March 28th at 2 p.m. While I participated in that telephonically, I know several of you were also in attendance, and without any question, it was the largest bid letting that we have ever had in terms of the number of bidders, the number of people in attendance. So it was exciting to say the least. I would just mention that, of course, we did publish all the notices and post them as required by law. As I mentioned on the resolution to make an award of contract, in our notice, we did advise that we would be making an award of contract, so that's the reason I'm suggesting that we table that, since it went out previously, advising bidders that we would be making an award of the bids tonight, that we'll just end up tabling that, bring that back at your meeting on April 15th, and you'll have a consideration of an award of the gross maximum price contract with Dean Snyder, who is the construction manager for the project. So again, this is a partnership with the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum, and so I appreciate those folks being here this evening as well. Again, this2-story facility located just west of the Surf Ballroom there on North Shore Drive. I do want to just, and I won't read the rest of this, but we had estimated the cost of this project at $5.2 million. So fortunately, it came in just a little bit under that, which is well done, I think, by Atura, and Dean Snyder is the construction manager. We've just not been seeing that trend with projects. Everything's been coming in over the estimate and over budget. So this one is actually on budget and on estimate. So 2 words I haven't used for, or sayings I haven't used for a little while. So Jared is going to review the bid tab briefly with you here a little bit. I know several of you are already here, and we've already kind of talked about this. I do want to just point out also, prior to the public hearing here, that we are anticipating a groundbreaking ceremony on April 17th, I believe at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the significance of that is, of course, the original Surf Ballroom had its opening on April 17th of 1933. And like everything in Clear Lake, as I mention all the time, it burned a few years later. So whether it was the Oaks Hotel or Central School or the Ritz, fires, yes. So it burned and was rebuilt in 1947, reopened in 1948. So we're in a fortunate spot to be able to make some really terrific transformational kinds of improvements in this district on that same day, 91 years later. So I don't have anything further prior to the public hearing, and we can review the bid tabulation here with Jared if you'd like.
Yeah, actually, I would just quickly comment, Scott, I appreciate your thoughts there, and I would just suggest, we talk about how this is only one of 27 national landmarks in the state of Iowa. And this kind of project, an immersive center, I think really brings that whole ballroom alive historically, and remembering that history and promoting it as a destination site. So I think, again, it's just going to be electrifying for our community.
So thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I neglected to mention that on April 4th, you and Beth Ann, several of us are going down to the Enhance Iowa Board to speak on our CAD application, which is relative to the immersive component directly. And so that's about a $960,000 application, of which our partners at the county are also contributing $250,000 to us as well. So we'll see how that goes. So
Yeah, absolutely. Jared, if you want to hold off for a second, I need to open the public hearing here first, according to my agenda, and then we'll bring you back up. So, thank you. So, okay, any questions for Scott before I open the public hearing? Okay. Now is the time and place for the public hearing with regard to the Surf District Destination Iowa Music Enrichment and Immersive Center project. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on this particular agenda item, please approach the podium, state your name, first and last, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter it into the minutes. Anyone interested in commenting? Welcome. How are you, Gail?
Fine. Are you planning to go over what is in this bid? You hear all kinds of rumors, and the chamber has hired me back to be the weekend person, so I really need to have my ducks in a row. Is the White House, is that the purchase of that and the tearing down? And, it was presented before to do a sidewalk along the Fox House and then build out there for the boats. But then the rumor, you're gonna buy the White House and tear that down, and is the White House in this bid? Doing anything with it?
that's a separate project. That's the streetscape project. That's not part of this project.
Okay, so that's part of the
Streetscape.
street,
Yep.
okay? The hotel. I know last summer, people just, they went out there and they saw that hole. And so, is the hotel happening?
So the city owns part of that property and the other part is privately owned. And so haven't been working on that one. I mean, some of that's really down the road a little bit. We started on that, but these other projects are a lot. So to try to manage
Right.
that, no, we have been open to the concept of future development opportunities there that may have a hotel, may not have a hotel, but to be very honest, we have what could be an $8.5 million music enrichment center and about a $4 million other streetscape project, and then trying to manage a city, we've got our plate full. So we just don't have the people to do everything at one time.
Okay. I will just say, because I worked for the chamber this Memorial Day to Labor Day weekends
Yeah.
for many years.
Yeah.
People come in and they say, hi, we're in town, what's to do? So the first thing I do is the lake and talk about the lake. And then I talk about Buddy Holly, the surf. And there are a lot of people that come in, I have to say, and as the years go on, that you just get they have no idea. So you really, really need to, advertise, do a lot more in Buddy Holly, or make it into a music destination.
Well, I think that's the exciting thing about this project, Gail, so that's what we're looking forward to here.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for your comments, though, and for your work with the chamber. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there anyone else that would like to comment? Okay, if not, council, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Creighton. Is there any discussion? Not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Hearing none. We'll move on to resolution number 24-34, a resolution approving plan specs, form of contract, and estimate of cost. Motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Creighton. Is there any discussion? Not, roll call. Creighton.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Beth Ann.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes.
And Mark.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 5-0, and resolution number 24-34 is duly adopted. Now, let's move on to the review of the March 28th bid packages. Jared. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I'll attempt to be quick in this. Just as a recap, we had 72 pre-qualified bidders that did the pre-qualification to have the ability to bid on one of the 16 packages that were put forth for public bidding. Of those 72, only 42 of them bid. Now, of those 42 bids, I think we had 3 that did not qualify as bidders based on not submitting bid forms and things of that nature. We're encouraged with the numbers that we got based on some added site scope last minute. To be under what our budget number was is really encouraging. So we've done some value engineering and we're able to bring down our number by about $100,000. So we're sitting right at $5 million pretty much right now. So
Very good.
yep.
I'd just add in that also does include a 10% contingency, which Jared assures me we're not going to use. So I'm going to remind you of that.
I would surely hope that we don't
Yeah.
eat into that because that's money that can certainly be helpful for the immersive part of this.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
again, I just want to recognize the construction manager process here. I thought it worked really well.
Excellent. Council, any questions for Jared? All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming. Now, I will entertain a motion to table Resolution Number 24-35, a resolution making an award of contract, which we will do on April 15th,
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. So we'll have the gross maximum contract at the next meeting, which is, of course, April 15th with Dean Snyder. Since they're the construction manager at risk, they're responsible for all of the subcontractors, and it's like an all-in amount there. So we'll have that on the docket for the next meeting.
Excellent, very good. All right, council, motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? If not, roll call. Bennett, yes. Beth Ann.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
And Creighton.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0, and the motion to table Resolution Number 24-35 is duly adopted. All right, Chief of Police's report. Chief Colby, welcome.
Evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. 15-9, in case you're asking. I was,
Why would you say that? Recording it.
Just so you all know, our cookie order was fulfilled, if you remember back to the last council. Thank you, Beth Ann, for dropping those off.
Oh, you're welcome.
March, we did have a severe weather week, so we did our yearly review of our severe weather policies and procedures, which was updated, and some changes there for the storm weather siren that we just finished today. Attended an emergency management meeting with Bennett today, and we approved, the emergency management agency approved accepting all the work there too, so that project is closed. If you remember, it's about a $1.2 million project done by the emergency management agency through a federal grant received. Happy to announce that tonight, Officer Brendan Gray will be certified for solo patrol, so I'll come back in about 10:45 tonight. We have a small ceremony we do, give him some cupcakes and give him a little attaboy and get his badges with his personalized PIN number on too. So he'll be released for certified solo patrol tonight at 11 o'clock. And the last but not least, I'll have Officer Bosser come up for his promotion ceremony and his wife. I'll introduce him as Officer Bosser comes up and Mayor Pro Tem Smith comes down. Officer Bosser's been working for the police department since 2017. He's a certified drug recognition expert, also a drug recognition expert instructor, one of very few in the state. He's one of our evidence technicians. He's also a field training officer, and it is no more day befitting for him to be promoted to lieutenant than April Fool's Day. Officer Bosser is our in-house jokester, which everybody will tell you too. So I told him that, and then he told me as well that today's his dad's birthday too. So I'm pleased to have Officer Bosser come down and be promoted to lieutenant today. So I'll let you guys do your thing.
Thank you very much, Chief. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jeremy Bossard,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa
and the ordinances of the City of Clear Lake,
and the ordinances of the City of Clear Lake,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of Police Lieutenant for the City of Clear Lake
of Police Lieutenant for the City of Clear Lake
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and that I will serve
and that I will serve
the citizens of the United States,
the citizens of the United States,
the State of Iowa,
the State of Iowa,
and the City of Clear Lake
and the City of Clear Lake,
honestly and faithfully,
honestly and faithfully,
and will obey the orders
and will obey the orders
of the officers and officials
and the officers and officials
placed over me according to law.
placed over me according to law.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Want someone to come on up? Yeah. Step aside.
Thank you.
I'm trying.
My congratulations again, and thank you, Chief. All right, Public Works Director's report. There. Okay. All right, there you go. Nothing under my report. Scott, anything else?
I'll
Anything
also
further?
thank Beth Ann for the cookies. She was busy. I just wanted to thank Mr. Smith for the last month or so that you've been running the meetings here for us. You've done a remarkable job and appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. It's been an honor. Scott?